ancient. It's really, really old. How difficult is it to get a young student to set a goal that far out?
Believe it or not, it's a lot easier for the young learners to do it than it is for my adult learners, because my adult learners are, they, how can I put this? They are focused on reality, whereas my young learners, the sky is the limit for them. They feel like they can do anything and they can have anything because they are young. And so they don't put the same limits on themselves that we as adults do. So it is,
Interesting.
yes, it's very much so easier for them to say, well, in a year, I want to do this. In a year, 2 years, I want to do this. In 20 years, it might just be, I want to have a family and a house to live in. Whatever it is their goal. And they update those goals on a yearly basis or whenever their goals change. So it's a working document in progress. It's a working journal where they can look from the first time that they actually profess what their goals were. And then a year later, see how they've changed, to 5 years later to see how they've changed, and so on and so forth. But they're always updating and upgrading what their goals are in order to
Interesting.
stay on target.
Right. So I can really see how a person that has some more life experience under their belts and maybe have had some knockdowns and setbacks and maybe some failures and would be a little bit more gun shy. And so I think as adults, we probably have to unlearn some behaviors so that we can go and be more childlike and take the cap off of our dreams again.
And learn to dream again.
Isn't that something? Wow. So, what do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that you see people making when they go into this process?
Well, number one is not starting early enough. But right next to that is, because it is a daunting process, it takes time. You have to put the time in. And people get started, they realize, oh my goodness, this is going to take time, and they just stop. Well, if you stop, you're not going to get anything. But if you keep going, if you stay consistent, it is numbers. Eventually, you will get some that are relevant to you, and hopefully, you will get some monetary help for your education or loan forgiveness because of it. But you have to stay consistent. You have to do the work, or else you end up, you know, hiring my services in order to do that portion of it for you, but that comes at a great expense.
I see. So, when we're talking about the process and the process that people have to stay consistent with, that is the process of looking for scholarships or you said loan forgiveness as well. That's also something that's available. I think maybe we're not as aware of that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, well, one of the things that I am working on with SOAR is that I'm the owner and founder of SOAR Consulting and Educational Development. It's a division of GIS Enterprises, which is my business. Our goal is to help students prepare for the competitive college admission process or career pathway by coaching, guiding those learners through the development of their resumes in the areas of leadership, community service, study skills, test prep, and life skills, because it's so important for the students to move away from home and still be able to take care of themselves independently. Well, SOAR assists learners with the evaluation and selection of a trade school, college, university, or career which could be their best fit for success, and searching for those scholarships, grants, and financial aid resources to help fund their educational career paths and their dreams. But ultimately, the reason that I'm doing this is because we have such a dilemma right now with students getting an education, coming out, not being able to find a job that will allow them to earn a living and pay back all the student debt that they've gotten into. So I am creating the SOAR Foundation ultimately to give back $5 billion dollars in scholarships to help learners research their goals by decreasing their educational financial obligations upon graduation. So it's not just getting into school, but it's also getting out of debt for going to school that we struggle with. And so I hope to be able to help to decrease that and make it better for students so that they can go on and get into their careers without the financial stagnation that we have right now.
Wow, you said 5 billion with a B.
I dream big.
Absolutely. If you're going to tell your students to dream big, then that's what you have to do as well. And I stand with you that I believe that education is a crisis right now, and paying for it and funding it is a crisis that exists in our country right now. And I am praying for solutions, and people like you and SOAR and what you're doing with this organization is just absolutely phenomenal, and helping students and parents to prepare for college and being able to pay for it. I think that that's one of the things that stops people a lot of times from even pursuing their goals and dreams is fear of not being able to afford it.
Yes, I agree.
Right. So tell me what in the last few minutes that we have here, what are the questions that you would like to have our listeners address within themselves as they're navigating this process for applying for or preparing for career or college?
Okay, so the first thing they need to start is with their passion. They have to figure out what their goals and dreams are, and they have to figure out what is it that I would do even if I didn't get paid for it. Most likely, that is the thing that you're most passionate about, and they need to experience some of those or investigate those avenues and venues as well as ways that they can make a career out of what they're passionate about, because it's so important for you to be ready by knowing what your passions are and what you're good at so that you can get set to soar later. One of the other things that they definitely need to do is they have to have a discrete plan. They have to have a B, C, and D pathway so that they have several areas that they can look into. It's so important to have more than one stream of income, especially in society today, because it's not like when our parents or grandparents went to work and they stayed at one job for 30, 50 years until
That's
they
true.
retired. That
Right.
doesn't exist anymore. So
No, it does
we
not.
can't depend on one stream of income. We need to keep focused and have different ways that we can bring income in so that we can raise our families. And the next thing that I think is most important is starting early and getting everything done consistently. If you're going to fill out 5 applications a week, fill out 5 applications a week, every week without fail. If you miss a little bit, say you skip a week, then the next week make it up by filling out 10. You have to stay consistent if you want to see the results that you want.
Well, very good advice. I love it. I think that you've provided some valuable information here that the listeners can take away, and realizing that the process has to start early, and that it's going to require some dedication on the part of the entire family, the parents working with their students. And if it just gets to be too daunting, they can always contact you. So tell us again, Juana, where can people find you?
You can find me at www.gissent, GISSENT.org. And you can find me on Facebook as Juana Gissendanner. You can also call me at 313-790-4863, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
Okay, say that phone number one more time.
313-790-4863.
Perfect. So Juana Spears Gissendanner of SOAR We appreciate your time today. And I just want to say thank you to you and thank you to all of our sponsors for Write Your Plan Radio. Thank you to all of you, our listeners. And tune in again next week as we will bring more information for you that is going to enrich your lives. See you next time.
Thank you.